What is up, you guys? So, I'm taking a 10-minute break from Warzone, so I figured I'd jump over here and try to make a quick video answering the most common questions I get about generals in Evony. Number one, what are the generals I should be using for resource gathering? Okay, one of the free generals is Princess Lucy. I think she's a 20% addition to double drop rate. If you happen to see Queen Jindok in the tavern, she's the other free general. Just meaning you don't have to spend real money to have a chance to get her. Queen Jindok is the gold general you want to have ASAP. What she does is she gives you more back from resource tiles on the world map than what's actually there. So, phenomenal general. I've got 5 of her because up until K35, and even after that, because there's probably going to be more expansions to higher keep levels, resource gathering is extremely important. 2, what generals should I be using to hit bosses? So I personally use Nathaniel Green. He reduces the cost of stamina, but I hit a lot of bosses. You want to focus on double drop rate for the most part. So Bybars is a great one. He offers 25% increase to double drop rate. There are a few other generals that come to mind. Generals that increase mounted troop attack are also very good, especially when you start hitting larger bosses. PvP and generals. So just being really, really honest, until you're like a K34, you really shouldn't focus on PvP that is outside of BOG or BOC. Battle of Guatemala, Battle of Constantinople, for those that aren't like hip to the slang yet. The reason why you do not want to focus on PvP outside of BOC, BOG is because every time you get hit by somebody that has massively stronger troops than you and your troops are killed, you are going to have to retrain those troops, or you're going to have to get them from the Soul Palace. So if you do not have your Soul Palace maxed out and you do not have your hospital capacity maxed out, it becomes not helpful to your growth to be constantly building troops and then hitting people and losing your troops and having to retrain them. Let's see. You really should not keep generals that are not gold and with a crown. So as you're refreshing the tavern, you'll see like Spartacus. I actually have a purple Spartacus from when I was still new to the game, which I have to cut loose here pretty soon because I'm at my general cap. So do not keep purple generals. Do not put skill books on purple generals. Really spend the time to get good gold generals with crowns. It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Let's see. Dragons, monsters, skill books. If you can afford the dragon, get the dragon. You're going to need the dragon eventually. The monsters, there's like a scorpion and there's a bird, and find the general that you have that monster goes with the best and pair it up. Simple as that. Go to it every day. Make sure you're cultivating it. Make sure you're getting it up. And same thing with the dragons. Make sure you feed your dragons every day. Don't go too hard. Don't be chasing these things. It's consistency. Skill books. Only put skill books on gold generals with crowns you intend to keep. If you have some general like the undead general, for example, don't put books on him. He's a waste. You're going to eventually have to cut him loose. Let's see. Other generals that I've had that I've now had to cut loose. There's some subordinate city generals that you'll get that eventually you'll get something better. It happens. Try not to use those skill books on generals that don't deserve it. It will set you back, and it'll make it really hard to cut those generals loose. On the other side of things, make sure you put skill books on generals that you are going to keep. If you don't have skill books, but you're using a general all the time, you are doing something that is inefficient. You're either causing yourself more wounded, maybe a slower march speed or less HP, whatever. You're missing out on something. Make sure you have those skill books. The other thing with skill books, so putting skill books on your general, what you want to do is you want to start with level 1 skill books, and you want to get all 4 of the level 1 skill books that you want on that general, and then you can replace them with level 6 or 7 or whatever skill books you have. 6, 7, they might not even go that high. But so that's skill books, generals, monsters. Should you pay the gems to get your general back from somebody if they've hit your city or if you've lost a general in PvP? Typically I say no, because you have enough generals to not worry about it. Granted, on my server, I've been on server 29 for 5 years. We have a community where it's kind of like, I could probably just use a speaker and ask for my general to be released, and it would be released without really a fight or any question. Because on your home server, there should be a level of respect for competitive players, even though things are always very intense. You should try to maintain that respect. If you capture other people's general, let them go. It's just rude to keep them or execute them. Just let them go. If you need the 20,000 gold, go hit a gold goblin. Like, it's not worth it. You want to keep people playing the game. So punishing players by executing their generals or, holding them hostage, blah, 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 is not beneficial to your server long term. How much time should you be spending in the tavern? It's like a pepper. Refreshing generals. I'm going to be honest, a lot. If you need generals, it should be something you do. You don't want to go gem broke. You don't want to go chasing down the tavern and then not have gems for a shield. But it is worth your time and gems to refresh that tavern. To get my Jindox, it took a span of, I think it was 2 months, and I think it was over 100,000 gems in the tavern, refreshing the tavern so that I can get 5 Jindox. So it will take time. I probably could have gotten the 5 quicker, but I went through a phase of just like, oh my gosh, if this is how many gems I need to spend, is this what I want to be doing? And the answer was yes. So here I am. It's absolutely worth it. How do you have gold on hand for generals? Vikings. Monday through Wednesday, every week. Run your Vikings every single week. You need the medals to cultivate your generals just as much as you need the gold, and the gems. So make sure you're doing Vikings every single week. Stats. Let's jump into Evony for this part. All right, you guys. So let's jump into generals. So there's my Giet, mediocre wall general. Since I'm looking at my wall general, always have a wall general. It's the easiest thing to forget. But make sure you've got your wall general on. If you get hit, You want every stat in your favor. Sometimes you get hit by somebody that's a maxed out K35 and they just wipe you out and there's no chance. Sometimes it's a little bit more even. If it's going to be even, you want it in your favor. So, I don't recommend this general for a wall general. I have it because of this trap triggering thing. I saw this. I don't know if I got this when I bought a pack or if I got this out of the tavern, but I saw this trap triggering thing. And in my early game, I bought this general, thought it was cool. So now it's my wall general. Many people have told me it is not a good wall general. So the reason for that, as you get bigger, traps become less and less valuable because you'll be playing BOC, BOG, and you lose traps so quickly. Traps are, oh man, they're gonna be essential if you want to be a server war participant only. So I can't even imagine a hypothetical world where this happens. So let's move forward. Not my best general because traps are absolutely useless now that BOC BOG has become a thing and you lose traps so easily. So general stats. Now that we spent 2 minutes talking about that. So you go to cultivate and you'll see what each stat does for your general. So leadership here increases the subordinate city training speed, troop HP, march speed, troop attack, troop defense. And then you see down here politics. It upgrades your subordinate city construction speed, subordinate city gold, resource gathering, and troop death to wounded. This bottom attribute here, death to wounded, is very, very important. It is going to help you get troops out of the hospital rather than having to use a soul revive or having to retrain them. So yeah, that's general stats. As you get bigger and as you start getting into more PvP exchanges, you will want generals that have a preference in ranged, in ground, in siege. There is a strategy called a siege bomb. So in a siege bomb, everybody sends siege, whether it's level 1, level 10, level 12. I don't recommend level 12 because the downside with siege is they take gems to heal. So it's a very expensive tactic. More PvP talk. Jester reduces enemy troops' attack by 15% when the general's leading the army. Not a bad deal. I think I mentioned in the previous clip, Spartacus was one of my first generals, and it increases march speed by 75% towards monsters. And I'm at my general cap, so I've got 42 generals out of 42. I need room to get another general. So unfortunately, Spartacus is probably going to get the axe, even though he's holding these skill books here, which, yeah, I don't think I can get off him. So it's just kind of a tough loss. Vibers. This is a general that you can get in the tavern. This is what I recommend for bosses. This is why. 25% double item drop rate from monsters when this general's leading the army. I use Nathaniel Green a lot because he gives me a discount on stamina. Oh, so happy I got Raged King. I'm working on a video where I'm spinning the wheel 1 million times. Or I'm using 1 million chips, I should say. And I got Rage King in the first like 10 minutes of making that video. I was so excited. Yes, this is another one I was excited about. 60. Reduces enemy troops defense by 15% and enemy ground troops defense by another 15%. Absolutely brutal. Can't wait to get her leveled up. Oh, I'm actually glad that I just saw this general. This is a good place to wrap up. Amin Timur. So, Amir Timur. Man, how did I got that backwards? Increases troop load by 100% when generals lead in the army. This is a great general if you have alt accounts that you need to farm, lots and lots of resources from. This particular general will help you do it faster. All right. Well, I hope that helps. Any other general questions about generals, please leave them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to address them when I see them. And yeah, stay happy, stay healthy, and play on.